Hey everyone, it's Matt. I'm the dude that teaches you stuff. I'm the dude that's gonna be teaching you stuff. Oh man, I did not plan this through. I need to start writing scripts. Holy shit. Hey everyone, I'm Matt, and today I'm gonna be teaching you a couple things about recording at home in hopefully less than 5 minutes. That's a good one. I like that one. That's good. Now listen, I know you've seen all the videos about plugging in an interface and putting it into a DAW, and for some reason you still can't figure it out. So that's why I'm here to break it down super duper easy for you, and even show you some really easy techniques at home, no matter what DAW you use, to record yourself. Let's get into it. I can't even keep a straight face. So the first thing that you're going to need is obviously a microphone. There's two different kinds of microphones that you can use for in-home recording: a USB microphone or an XLR microphone. For this instance, this video, I'm going to be explaining how to connect an XLR microphone to your computer so that you can record at home. So you're probably asking what the difference is between a USB and an XLR microphone. Well, a USB microphone obviously connects to your computer via USB. You don't need an interface to use your USB microphone on your computer, but for the instances of this video, an XLR microphone needs an XLR cable, which looks like, come on, focus, which looks like, why aren't you focusing? It looks like this. It has three little prongs that plug into the interface and the microphone. And now you're probably asking yourself, what's an interface? I'm glad you asked. Vanna White PNG. So for this video, I'm showing you a UAD Volt 2. It's a great intro interface for in-home recording and small studio needs. Could also recommend the Focusrite 2i2 or the Modu M2. Pretty much any channels are right there. 2-channel interface, gonna do just fine for you. You can even get away with 1 channel, if they even make 1 channel. Do they make 1 channel? Holy shit, they do. All right. Yeah, they make 1-channel interfaces. Sure. Are you following me? I hope I'm making myself very, very clear, okay? So what you're going to do is you're going to take the pronged end of the XLR cable and plug it in to channel 1 or channel 2, doesn't really matter. Then you're going to plug the female end into the back of your microphone. And then you're going to notice a bunch of knobs and buttons on this interface. It's probably going to be easier for me to just show you through the user manual what all of these do. So each interface is going to be slightly different on what you see on this front panel here. Really, the only 3 things that you need to worry about with an interface for in-home recording is your gain, your output level, and 48 volt. So first, the gain knob, think of it as how much signal you're getting from your microphone. So how loud do you want your microphone to be when it's picking up your voice? Pro tip, you never want to be in the red. If you see a red light on your interface, you're way too high on your gain staging and you need to turn the gain down just a little bit. The next thing, obviously if you're using headphones, you'll plug it into the headphone jack here and you'll control the headphone volume with a knob pretty close to where the input jack is going to be for your headphone. If you're using studio speakers, instead of using the headphone volume knob, you would be using the monitor volume knob. So now that you've plugged the microphone into input 1 or input 2, and you have increased the gain to what seems like an appropriate level, and you've adjusted the volume on your headphones, now you need to figure out if you need to hit this dangerous little button called the 48 volt button. 48 volt, also known as phantom power, is required to power condenser microphones, not dynamic microphones. If you are unsure of what kind of microphone you have, highly recommend Googling it, because I have no idea what microphone you're using. I don't want to give you false information on the internet. but let's move on. So every interface is going to have a USB cable and a power cable. Obviously, plug the power into the power outlet. Plug the USB anywhere where you have an open USB spot on your computer. Now that the interface is connected to your computer, microphone is plugged in, and you fiddled with the knobs a little bit, let's load up a DAW, a digital audio workstation, so that you can actually hear, monitor, and mess around with whatever you're recording at home. So for this video, I'm using a program called Pro Tools. You can do this with any DAW out there, FL Studio, Ableton, Logic, Studio One, Cubase, doesn't really matter what you use. It's all going to be fundamentally the same on how you set up and make sure your interface is coming into the DAW that you're working in. So when you load up a session in Pro Tools, you have to make your own audio track. So you could go up to track, hit new, or Command Shift N and make your audio track. The next thing you need to do is you need to go up to Setup, Playback Engine, and under Device, you should have whatever interface you have plugged into your computer selected. If not, make sure you select it here. Hit OK. And now each major DAW has an input and an output. So whatever microphone input you plugged into, you have to make sure that's the same input in your DAW. So if you plugged your mic into input 1, you would select input 1, otherwise select input 2, etc., etc. You also need to make sure that the output on the same channel is the stereo out of whatever interface you selected. So now we can see, if I hit input monitoring here, you can see that I'm getting some signal here. And then if we record arm, and in Pro Tools, the shortcut for recording is 3 on the numpad. You hit 3 and you can clearly see that it is recording my voice here. And if we go back here and hit play, you hit 3 and you can clearly hear that my audio is coming out of the interface that I selected. So just for demonstration purposes, I want to show you how to select your interface in a couple other DAWs and select your input and output to make sure that it's the interface that you have plugged in. So in Ableton, your audio tracks are already made for you. And as you can see here under channel 3 audio, it shows input 1 and 2, 1 and 2. And if I hit the record arm button here, you can see that there's signal coming through. But if you don't see any of this, make sure you go up to Live, Settings, and under Audio input device and output device, make sure that it is the interface that you are using. So now, if we hit record arm, we see our signal coming in here, and we hit record, we can see our vocal coming through our channel here. And then we can go back and we can see, take a listen to it. So in Logic, you want to hit new project, empty project, hit choose. It's going to ask you if you want MIDI, pattern, session player. You want to select audio, mic, or line. It's going to automatically create an audio track for you. And to make sure that Logic is reading your interface, you're going to go up to Logic Pro, Settings, Audio. Once again, make sure your output and your input are the interface that you're using. So now, if I hit input monitoring here, you can see that it's getting signal. And if I record arm and hit the record button, you can see that it's picking up my voice here. So now you know the very basics of getting your interface set up and making sure that your digital audio workstation is reading your interface. Now I want to show you a really easy in-home recording technique. You can use this for vocals, you can use this for guitar, bass, anything that you're plugging directly into your interface. This is called the 3-track recording method. So the concept to the 3-track recording method is to have one recording track and then 2 tracks below that you can layer your vocals in. What do I mean by that? So essentially, there's 2 ways to do this. You can either create 2 new audio tracks from scratch, or you can take this audio track, which is your record track, and duplicate it 2 times. Either way, you end up with 2 audio tracks directly below it. So the concept is you have one record track. I just marked this red for recording. Now you go ahead and record whatever vocals you want down here. As soon as you're done, drag it down to, we'll call these the listen tracks, right? These are the tracks that are going to mainly be in whatever recording you're doing. And the reason you do this is, let's say that you didn't like something in this line here, okay? I'm gonna mute this because I don't wanna hear myself twice. But you can record on top of this right now and then put that directly below. And let's say that this is all the same vocal line, a chorus or a verse or something that you're saying. You can pick and choose what you like about this vocal section. And now you have one cohesive line of vocals that you can play from the start here. I understand that this can be really hard to understand from a demonstration purpose without having any audio to listen to. So let me see if I can load up a session where I'm using the 3-track recording method and we can take a listen and see in real time what I mean by this. So this is a real session that I had with a client a couple weeks ago where I'm using the 3-track vocal method, and I think listening to everything in context will make you understand the approach to the 3-track vocal method. Now, for this purpose, ignore this folder here. I use folders just for my organization and for routing multiple tracks together, but we're not going to get into that. We're going to keep this simple for this instructional video. Let me show you what I mean by the 3-track recording method here. So everything that he recorded is here on this track when I'm tracking him live. Then as soon as he's done, I'll move it down to one of these tracks down here, just depending on whatever layers that I'm doing. And the result is going to sound something like this.
If a son get hit, I grab some bleach and wash up thoroughly. With these guns, an expert, yeah, little bitch, I'm not a virgin. With these hands, I tune you up, get you right, bitch, I'm a surgeon. Hella confidence, man, dingo dick, bitch, better fall in line.
So you hear that even though this is 2 separate vocal tracks, it all sounds like it's cohesively one track there. That's the idea of the 3-track recording method. So this way you can have some overlap in your tracks, and it might add an extra effect of putting another layer or emphasizing the end of a word or the beginning of a word. However you want to do it creatively, you have the freedom to experiment with that. But the 3-track recording method is my preferred way to approaching recording in a session with a real artist. And let me just play this one more time with you without all the extra layers and beat getting in the way of what you can hear. So now this is going to be dry with no reverb, no delay, no beat, no layers, no ins and outs, nothing, just straight vocal here.
Early, with these guns, an expert, yeah, little bitch, I'm not a virgin. With these hands, I tune you up, get you right, bitch, I'm a surgeon. Hella confidence, man, dingo dick, bitch, better fall in line.
So it all sounds like one cohesive track, right? That's the approach of the 3-track recording method. So hopefully at the end of this video, you're at least a little more confident in approaching recording yourself at home. And don't worry, I'm going to be posting a way more in-depth home recording tutorial later on at some point. I didn't think about when it's coming out. Anyway, thank you so much for watching and have a great one, everyone. And be nice to yourself. You've earned it. That's a good one. I like that one. That's good. That's good. All right. And fucking fist bump, Matt. Oh my fucking god. Happiness is a choice. Oh shit.